We actually used one of our bigger wide receivers today.
Can you share his name?
If I knew it. That's our GAs are in charge of that, but I thought they did a great job emulating the offense today.
Oh, yeah.
Coach, with this Kansas State offense, you certainly just can't concentrate on Klein. There's so many other weapons there.
Well, the thing about it, too, I think the biggest misconception is he's 79 for 118 throwing the ball. Yeah, he's just a winner. I mean, he presents a problem running the football. They get you to bite down. Now you're all geared up to stop the run. Now the play action pass is set up, and he does an unbelievable job at getting the ball to different receivers and people. And again, when I saw his stats, and he's only thrown 2 interceptions on the course of the year, so very effective throwing the football as well.
Methodical is a good way to describe this team, isn't it?
Well, I mean, they're basically emulate their head football coach. I mean, they're disciplined. They place a big emphasis on character. All those things. You can just see it oozing out of those young men. I mean, they play with great discipline. They play with great toughness. They play with great effort. And I mean, it definitely comes across on every phase of their play.
How much different is it when Klein runs and then when they run the ball back here with guys like Hubert?
Well, it's almost like bringing in different pitchers, and in the course of a game. I mean, you got where he's so patient, letting the blocks unfold and just buying time and then running the football, and then all of a sudden they hand the ball off, and then here comes a little scat back. And I mean, he with great speed and quickness. In the hole, it's just a completely different, problem for you. So you have to be sound on the perimeter, but then you also have to be very solid in the middle of your defense to with all the power and the ISO and those things. Two completely different problems.
How difficult is it to stop Klein because he is so patient? How hard is it to stay home?
I've never seen anything like it, honestly. In 25 years of watching football, I mean, he'll sit there and he just lets the plays develop, and it's almost like they're playing with 12. You'll have 2 lead backs, an offensive lineman pulling. If you look at it, it reminds you of football back in the 60s in the old single wing days. And a lot of those same principles and concepts apply to what they're doing.
Do you have to do anything different mentally to prepare for a team that's going to take their time, try to move the chains to stay ahead of the sticks?
Well, I mean, that's been one of the biggest challenges for us this week is talking to our young men about, there's so many distractions in trying to stay consistent through the course of a year. You got to, every single day, you got to get to where you enjoy the grind, you got to be able to be disciplined, and you got to show up every day with an intensity and a focus to win. It's hard to win in college football these days, and every team presents a complete different challenge. So that's what we try to get them across is that, what you did last week, it's not going to really do anything to help you this week. So put it, every week you got to hit that restart button on Sunday after you're done watching grading the film.
You guys find yourself a bit of psychologists in that there's a lot of pride here, a lot of egos. These guys give up another touchdown, they're not very happy. I mean, how do you guys balance that?
You just have to. You got to play the next play. It's just like anything else. So you just got to keep going. You got to keep moving forward. And I mean, every day you got every rep. You got to make everything count. You got to make every practice count. And it's the same thing in the course of a game. I mean, if you give up a touchdown and you're sitting there worried about giving up a touchdown, well, guess what? You're probably fixing to give up another one. You got to just continually hit the restart button.
You see leaders emerge in practice, some guys who stepped up, tired of it and want to put a foot down.
Well, everyone, gets frustrated, but all you can really control is your own actions. So therefore, take care of what you can control. Because if you start worrying about someone else, then now your play and your performance is going to suffer from that. So again, we just try to get our guys to everyone take care of your 111, and when you do that, you got to function as a unit, and that's been our biggest struggle is just getting everyone to perform as a unit.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when you guys came in as a staff this past off season, one of the things you talked about with this scheme was that you needed to be multiple because you were going to face the Baylors and the Texas Techs, but you were going to face the Kansas States too. You talked about being able to kick a 4th lineman down, those things. How differently will you all play this week compared to what you've had to do in these first few games in the Big 12?
That's a good point. I mean, now it goes from defending plays out in space, playmakers in space, to now it's a little bit, even though they do spread the field a little bit, it's still, the game is played between the tackles a lot of the time, so therefore we have to be able to crank it down and get 8 and 9 people in the box at times to be able to stop the run.
Is it just that simple, or
it really is. It's just no matter what defense you play, when you play multiple tight end sets, you play multiple running backs, multiple tight ends, you got to outnumber them in the box, and that's easier said than done, because now all of a sudden you still have to defend the pass as well. So it's not as simple as it sounds, and it presents a different challenge, and one that we don't see a lot of.
I understand that you all obviously don't want to give away your game plan, but is this a game where you could see a little bit more 4 down played?
We'll just see how that goes. I mean, honestly, I mean, we got to, obviously you can't do what you've been doing, from not necessarily from a scheme standpoint, but you have to have a scheme and a system that allows you to be, like you said earlier, multiple. And I think we have that in place.